Right, hi guys, how are you all doing this week? So as you already know from my message, we will be moving to one lesson per week. That is guidance that is given to all of us from Putnam County Schools. So they want one lesson per week. So every Thursday, you will be getting another segment from me. Understand that next week is spring break, and we are still following the normal spring break that we were going to have, so you will not be getting an assignment from me. So you'll hear from me again the week after that on Thursday. Okay, so since we have a final plan that we're going with here, and we're doing a once a week thing, I know we've been back and forth on how many problems we're going to do. We're going to do segments of 10 each week. So each week you'll do 10 segments. So I'm going to post the picture of it, time yourself for 10 minutes, do it, and then check with my video and write it down in the way that I showed you to do it. A couple of you that turned it in last week did a really nice job. So let's start through this. On number 1, we've got the absolute value of 9 minus 5 minus the absolute value of 5 minus 9. So understand here, we can do each part separately. So 9 minus 5 will output us a 4. I've got eraser, hang on. 9 minus 5 will output us a 4. Then that minus in the inside, so let's leave that as absolute value. Still got the minus, and then on the other one, I've got 5 minus 9 being negative 4. So that's negative 4. Okay, so I've got the absolute value of 4, which is 4. Still got minus, and then the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Okay, so 4 minus 4 should output us 0 for D. All right, number 2, an editor charges $30 for each hour he works on a book project, plus a flat fee of $25 editing. How many hours of work are included in a $190 bill for a book project? All right, so let's go at it like this. We can do it two ways. We can either do the math on it, which would be 190 minus 25, and we would find out what that would give us. I think that would be 165. Let's check just to make sure. 165. And then we would have to divide that by the $30 fee, okay, the $30 for each hour. Okay, so dividing that by 30 would equal 11 over 2. Okay, so I don't know what 11 over 2 is, and especially don't know because it's not an answer choice. So my best option, I'm probably going to be turn that into a decimal, which turns out to be 5.5. Okay. So I can go over here to my answer choices and figure out which one. See, these are in fraction form, but that's okay because I can convert the fractions over into decimal if I need, or this one appears to be pretty easy and pretty obvious with H. Now, alternative method, we could use all of our answer choices. So if I wanted to try F, let's say I wanted to try F. Okay, I could do 3 2/5. I could multiply that by 30 and then add 25 to it and see if it's $190. If it's not, then cancel out F. Okay, and then you could do that for G, then H, then J, then K, and one of them is eventually going to give you $190. Number 3, runner A averages 5 miles per hour and runner B averages 6 miles an hour. At these rates, how much longer does it take runner A than runner B to run 15 miles? Okay, so let's try to just work this out. Let's make a little line here for A and make a little line here for B. So after 1 hour, should have left myself a little more room there. Let me give myself a little more room. Got runner A here and runner B here. After 1 hour, okay? After 1 hour, runner A has gone 5 miles and runner B has gone 6. So after 2 miles, okay, or 2 hours, sorry, runner A has gone, runner A has gone, oh my gosh. Remember I was having trouble with this last week. Let me move it down to where I'm not laying my hand on it. Runner A has gone 10 miles, B has gone 12. Okay, let's look at hour 3, okay? This guy has gone 15, but this guy, runner B, he's gone more than 15 miles. So he's actually gone 3 miles further. Okay, so it definitely took runner A 3 hours to get to 15 miles. Okay, runner B, he did it in somewhere between 2 hours and 3 hours. Okay, so if you notice, 15 would hit somewhere here in the middle. okay, when he crossed over, so like 2.5 hours or so like that. Okay, so it's not a full hour more, so it's easiest for us to just say it took him a half hour longer to do it, okay? Because we couldn't say that it was a full hour more. That wouldn't be correct, because it happened somewhere between 2 and 3. All right, so we got to figure out that is equivalent to something. Let's combine like terms. I've got a regular x squared here and a negative 82x squared there. So I've got 1 minus 82. That would be negative 81x squared. So that one doesn't have it, and that one doesn't have it, so we can get rid of that. K also doesn't have it, so we can get rid of that. Okay? If you notice, here's what I notice about my answer choices. Both of them have the same last digit, so both plus 54. So really the center section here is the only thing that's going to matter. So I've taken care of that. I've taken care of that. I really don't care about the 54. I just got to keep in mind 60x minus 59x. So 60 minus 59 would be a positive x. So it would be plus x, and then obviously the plus 54 on the end. So that would lead us to believe H is our correct answer here. Oh, by the way, there is math to figure out number 3 if you really want to set it up like that. You would set up an equation for both of them and then set them equal to each other. It's really not that bad, but I think this would have been our easiest way of going at it. Number 5. Okay, what is the parameter of A, B, C, D, E? So A, B, C, D, E. We are looking for the entire thing. Okay, so there's some important information that it tells us up top. It's a square and an equilateral triangle. So that means this side, this side, this side, here, here, and here, all the same length. So if that's 18 at the bottom, we got 18 there, 18, 18, 18, and obviously the 18 that was here. So how many 18s do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. So if we multiply that, it should be 90. 90, yes, D. Okay. The expression. Oh, so we have to do a little bit of foiling here. Let me move it out to the side so we can foil. 6n minus 5, n plus 4. So I'll foil 6n times n, which would be 6n squared. I'll do 6n times 4, so that's 24n. I got negative 5 times n is minus 5n, and then negative 5 times 4 would be minus 20. I have to combine these two like terms in the center. So 6n squared, I got 24 minus 5, so that should be plus 19n, and then minus 20. Okay, so let's see if that's an answer choice. It looks like it is K, 6n squared plus 19n minus 20. All right, Blair expects an increase of 3% in her current annual salary of $42,000. What would her new salary be? Okay, so we've talked about percent increase before. The easiest way to get this is to take 42,000. Now, we could multiply that by 3%, figure out what 3% is, and then add it to it. But I think it's way easier to just multiply by 1.03, which is multiplying it by 100% and then also the 3%. Okay, so you don't have to do any adding or subtracting. This is a lot easier, and it helps people from getting messed up. So if you do 42,000 times 1.03, it'll give you 43,260, which just so happens to be an answer choice C. All right, so we got 6 consecutive integers below that add up to 513. What is the value of n? Okay, if you would like to try these, we can just do our answer choices. There's one test-taking strategy that seems to help people, starting in the middle, because that way you don't have to check all of them. You'll have to check at most 3 of them. So if you start in the middle and your answer is either too high or too low, it'll tell you which way to go. So I'm going to start with 64 as my first one that I'm going to do. So if n is 64, then this is 63, 62, 65, 66, 67. Okay, so if I were to add that all up, 62 plus 63 plus 64 plus 65 plus 66 plus 67 gives me 387. That's way too low. Okay, so I definitely know that it couldn't be 48. I definitely know it couldn't be 53. Okay, because I'm way too low. 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67 is over 100, almost 150 too low. So let's jump up to 85. Okay, so if I have that, I've got 85, 84, 83, 86, 87, 88. Let's add those up. 83 plus 84 plus 85 plus 86 plus 87 plus 88. They gave me 513 on the dot, so that would be J. If J hadn't worked, I would have tried K. Okay, so that's a little test-taking strategy there that keeps you from having to do all 5 answer choices, and you would have to just do at most 3. You do the middle one, and then you either go up or down from there. Number 9, standard coordinate plane, points X, point B with coordinates that, and the midpoint of AC, and A has coordinates of that. So it wants to know C. So let's draw ourselves a little graph here. B is at 5, 6. So up there's B. Okay. And it's the midpoint of AC. So A is at 6, 7. Okay, so remember that was 5, 6. So A is up here at 6, 7. So if B is the midpoint, that must mean C is on the other side of it down here. Okay, so notice from B up to A, you went up 1 and over 1. This is A up here. So to get down to C, just go down 1 and over 1. Okay, so B was at 5, 6. That must mean C is at 4, 5. Okay, that's the only one that's relevant. It's anywhere close. Rectangle PQRS lies in a standard coordinate plane XY. Alright, so that its sides are not parallel to the axis. What's the product of the slopes of all 4 of the lines of the rectangle? So this is interesting. We have another coordinate plane, but it says that one's pitiful. Let me fix it. Alright, but it says none of its lines are parallel to the axes. So basically that means something like this is the shape that we have. Okay? So here's the thing. It's talking about the products of the slopes. So let's say this line right here that I'm drawing dotted lines up to and past. Let's say the slope of its line is 1. So let's say you went up 1 over 1. So the slope, the function would be like f of x equals x plus something, plus 2 maybe. Okay, but we're only worried about the slope. So if the slope there is 1, and this is a right angle, so that means the slope of this other one would be the opposite reciprocal. So flipping 1 over 1 upside down would be 1 over 1, but then it would be negative 1. Okay, so negative x basically. So multiplying those together would give you negative x, negative 1. Sorry, we're really just worried about the slope. So 1 times negative 1 would be negative 1. So negative 1 between those two. These two lines down here have the same slopes as the ones that are parallel to them. So x and negative x again. So these two multiplied together would be negative 1. Then it wants all 4 of them multiplied together. So multiply both of those together. Negative 1 times negative 1 would output you positive 1j. Okay, so hopefully you were able to follow that. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'll kind of zoom this out to where you can see all of the places. It's not going to be a very good picture, but at least if you need to go back and check what any of the answers were, here you go without having to rewind. So again, next week is spring break, and then I will talk to you the week after that. So on Thursday, be looking for an assignment. Okay, so I'll see you guys.